Well, good evening, guys. Aaron Dorr here, policy advisor with Wyoming gun owners. Guys, I've been on the road all day, but I wanted to make sure that we had time to talk about the lies and BS coming forth from Representative Clark Stith, one of the main sponsors of fixed NICS legislation in the upcoming 2020 session. Guys, get signed in. We're going to start a watch party here. Get this video seen by more people. Let us know where you're watching from, as always. Post your questions and location in the comments section. I'm going to try to monitor the comments on my other phone tonight if this works correctly. So if you have any questions, you can post them right there. But guys, we're going to host a watch party and get this video going here in about 30 seconds. Get signed in, guys, and let us know where you're watching from. We're going to give you guys the top 7 issues, the top 7 reasons why gun owners all across the state should be bitterly opposed to this fixed NICS bill being pushed in Cheyenne by these swamp monsters, people like Clark Stith and Representative Pownell and Senator Von Flatter and others. So guys, get signed in, and as I think our watch party is going now, I believe it's kicking off right now. I'm waiting to make sure we get confirmation, and once that does, we're going to kick off tonight's video. A lot of you guys have been watching our Facebook page over the last 4 or 5 days since HB 59 got introduced, and watching our page and taking action and firing off emails. And we can't thank you enough for that. And a couple of you sent us these wonderful little screenshots of Representative Clark Stith being an idiot, which is not hard for Clark. If you ever talked to the guy, he is a backstabbing weasel who, we're not surprised, he's leading the charge to pass this garbage in Wyoming. We're not surprised. We want to give you guys, though, some of the main reasons why he's an absolute liar when he says that this is a pro-gun rights bill. And see, nothing makes me more angry as a gun rights activist. I mean, I understand when we have hardcore liberal Democrats who say, you know what, I hate gun owners, I hate you, I want to take away your guns, and they're just honest about it. We can understand that. We can deal with that. But what's a lot more insidious and a lot more just enraging to me is our pro-gun Republican friends telling us that, oh, no, this gun control bill really is a gun rights bill. And that's the bull crap that we're getting from Clark Stith. You guys have been telling us that all day long with screenshots to our Facebook page. So, Clark Stith, now don't forget, he's a guy who tried to screw us on Stand Your Ground law in 2018, and I mean screw us bad. And he almost got away with it, but we had dueling versions of that bill in both chambers, and we ended up destroying or stopping the bill that he weakened with his bad amendments and his bad votes, and we passed the clean version instead because we knew that a weasel like Clark might try and do what he actually did. So his record sucks, for one. But now when it comes to this, when it comes to fixed NICS, he's trying to claim this is a gun rights bill. And of course, he says that because the opening 3 or 4 pages of this bill talk about the rights restoration process, how you would get your rights back if you've lost them. And so because he has 4 or 5 pages of miscellaneous like that, he wants you to believe, oh, no, this is actually a good bill. Well, I'm sorry, Clark, you're an idiot or you're lying, one of the two. I don't really care much which, but Wyoming gun owners speak for Wyoming gun owners, not you. So just sit down, be quiet, and let gun owners talk about what's going on with this bill. Guys, there's 7 huge issues with this bill, 7 huge problems with this bill. The first one is that this bill would empower liberal as heck judges to take away your gun rights, take away your right to keep and bear arms, and take away your actual property before you've ever been convicted of a crime. That's the whole point here. It would allow a liberal judge to say, no, I just don't think that you're the kind of guy who should have guns, and just take them away. No arrest, no conviction, no criminal charges or even have to be filed. They could just say, I don't like you. There's something wrong with you. Your ex-wife thinks you're dangerous, or your boss thinks you're crazy, and you're going to lose your guns. Now here's the deal. There's already a process in federal statute for somebody who is adjudicated mentally defective to not be able to buy firearms. That's not what this is. This goes way beyond that. By number 1, empowering these judges to take away your firearms with no underlying criminal issues or allegations, much less convictions. Number 2, This bill is going to give the same power by default to mental health staffers, and God only knows what their ideology is. I'm not going to lie. I don't trust people like that. I assume for the most part these people hate people like us. They hate people who love guns, who love God, who love the Second Amendment, who love their country, who love their flag, who love their president. They think people like us are crazy. Because only a crazy person could like President Trump, right? Or only a crazy person thinks he has to have more than 2 firearms, right? Or only a crazy person believes that we should still honor our flag and honor our country. This is very real stuff. I'm not just talking in hyperbole. These people really believe that people like us who believe in this stuff are crazy. And so these judges will be deferring to these liberal mental health staffers and say, go take a moment and interview, let's see here, who's coming? Kevin. Go interview Kevin, and you come back and tell the court if you think that he is a legit person who should have guns. And it's going to be one person, folks. It's going to be one mental health staffer. And let's be honest. Half these people are crazy anyway. We all know it. If you agree, give me a thumbs up. That these are the types of people who will be deciding the future of your gun rights for the rest of your life. The third reason why we are bitterly opposed to a red flag gun seizure law, guys, is that it normalizes the process by which we see a red flag bill coming in Wyoming. And it does that by normalizing the idea that a gun owner could or should lose his guns with no underlying criminal conviction. That's the whole point of this bill. It would take gun owners with no criminal conviction, who are facing no criminal charges, and take away their gun rights for a lifetime. Folks, that's what a red flag gun seizure bill does. It's happening right now in Colorado. We all know that. This bill would only normalize the process, and it would pave the road to hell for a freaking red flag gun seizure law. And for those who are getting signed in, Michelle says, fight, 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 guns are our right. We have a pre-written email. It's right above this video. It's in the comments section. It's on the watch party. It's a pre-written email to your lawmakers in Cheyenne. It's all set up. It takes seconds to punch in your information and hit send. It's already written for you. It goes right to your lawmaker. It's automatic. You can hit them on email. You can hit them on Twitter. That's also pre-written. You can also send them a note through our back channel process that lets you do video messages and call them, of course, if you want to, anytime when they're actually in session. There's lots of ways to take action. But that's only the top 3 reasons. The fourth issue with this bill is that we all know the truth. This is a placeholder bill. And we all know what that means. This bill is being drafted just to get a code section on the books. And whatever protections they think are in this bill right now, they will immediately move to obliterate those down the road. Let me give you an example. So right now in Ohio, when my brother Christopher runs Ohio Gun Owners, in Ohio right now, they already have this fixed NICS crap on the books. Been that way for a long time. And they always bring all these protections and all these protections in place and due process and blah, blah, blah. Well, right now, in the wake of the shooting that took place out there in Dayton last fall, where a bunch of folks were killed by a madman with a gun who broke the laws in the first place to kill those people, right now in Ohio, Republican rhinos like Governor DeWine and many others in the legislature, they are pushing for a bill to amend what they call their pink slip laws. They call them pink slip laws versus fixed NICS. It's the same thing. It's their mental health gun control process. And so in Ohio right now, they're trying to use a new bill to modify the state's pink slip laws to say that so many more people could be added to this prohibited persons database, including people who drink too much in the privacy of their own home on the weekends on their own couch. Let me say that again. The new bill being pushed in Ohio would weaken or lower the threshold on when someone could be added into this prohibited persons database to include people who drink too much beer, according to their spouse or somebody, in their own home. We're not talking about a DUI or anything. People that drink in their own house on the weekends could be added to a prohibited persons database. It is that bad right now in Ohio. They're also trying to weaken the types of courts that have to examine these cases. Right now, a criminal court judge has to make these determinations in Ohio, and they're trying to weaken it now to a lowly probate judge who normally deals with wills and trusts and estates. This probate judge would now have the ability to decide the future of your gun rights for the rest of your days. So this is our fourth main point. Whatever crap they pass in Wyoming in 2020 or 2021 or whatever they would pass this, and we're not going to let them. We're not going to let them. So we're going to make sure it doesn't happen now. But if they ever did, they would immediately come back then down the road and say, oh, well, we have this process in place, but it doesn't go far enough. We have to expand the list of who can have their gun rights taken away through our fixed NICS stuff. This is absolute crap, guys. It's absolute crap. The fifth reason, though, guys, is perhaps one of the biggest of all. And that's that nobody follows this crap. No criminals would be stopped by the passage of this bill. And we all know it. Background checks don't stop criminals. 3-day waiting periods don't stop criminals. Gun-free zones don't stop criminals. And neither would this. Neither would this. Does anybody think, does Stith, Clark, if you're watching, and we know you're stupid, but try to follow us here. Do you really think that somebody who is desiring to commit a homicidal mass attack of some sort is going to be stopped because you put all of us in a fixed NICS database? You know that person can't find other firearms? He can't steal firearms? That he couldn't take a truck and run it through a crowd of people? That he couldn't use a knife? I mean, come on, man. We see this every day across Europe. They've taken away their guns, and it doesn't stop any criminals. They use acid, they use knives, they use trucks, whatever it takes. And so, of course, if they pass this, it's only going to impact people like you and I. It wouldn't stop criminals, and we all know that. The sixth reason, though, really chaps my backside, because there are people who do need to talk to mental health people, not the anti-gun, hardcore liberal folks, but good counselors that give really good help to people who are in need. Maybe it's a veteran who's come back from foreign service, from a combat deployment. Maybe it's somebody who lost a loved one in a tragic accident or had some other major personal loss. Some of these people really do need to get the kind of help that we're talking about here, but if they pass a fixed NICS law, the word's going to get out, and the very people who could benefit from counseling, who could benefit from talking to somebody, they're not going to pursue that kind of counseling because they know, justifiably so, there's a very good chance their name could be added to a prohibited persons database. This is not just theory. There are hundreds of thousands of U.S. Combat veterans who've come back from overseas who've had their name added to the prohibited persons database without their knowledge and without any criminal convictions. And the word gets out amongst veterans, amongst the guys who get back. They tell their buddies who are back overseas and they say, hey, dude, whatever happens, for God's sakes, when you come home, don't talk to anybody because they're going to take away your guns. This happens all the time. Ask a veteran. Ask a veteran. And so the very people who might need to talk to a counselor, like I said, maybe it's a veteran coming back from a combat deployment. Maybe it's someone who lost a loved one in a tragic accident with no time to prepare for their passage. These are the types of people who might need help, and they're not going to seek it because they're going to be concerned they're going to lose their guns. And the final thing I want to mention tonight too to you guys is that all this thing is a quote-unquote, I mean, again, heavy sarcasm, quote-unquote, it's a solution in search of a problem. And don't take my word for it. At the interim committee process this year, last fall, in that process, guys, they were asked by lawmakers, the lobbyists who are pushing this garbage were asked, what situation exists in Wyoming? What individuals should have been stopped that weren't? What problem are we trying to address with this? Where have there been problems with the current law that need to be addressed with this fixed NICS bill? You know what they said? They said, well, we're not aware of anything. We're just trying to do it just in case. So this whole thing is a bunch of crap. There's nothing that there's no problems at all that they're trying to address. There's been no issues with the current law in Wyoming. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. But guys, this does not have anything to do with public safety. It's not designed to try to protect the Second Amendment. And you know what? I guess I'll make up my 8th point here right now on the fly. You don't have to take my word for the policy. Just look, for heaven's sakes, just look at who's sponsoring the bill. I'll just be very blunt. In this state, if a gun bill is not coming from a guy like Senator Bouchard or Representative Salazar or Representative Jennings or Representative Edwards or maybe one other name in the Senate chamber, if those guys are not sponsoring a gun bill, you can bet your bottom dollar there's a problem. On the contrary, when you see swamp monster pieces of filth like Democrat to Republican State Senator Mike Van Flatteren, when you see his name on a gun bill, run. Actually, don't run. Stand and fight back. Stand and fight back, because you know that is a terrible bill. When you see Van Flatteren's name on a gun bill, that's a terrible sign. When you see Bill Pownell's name on a gun bill, that's a terrible sign. When you see Kirkbride's name on a gun bill, that's a terrible sign. And when you see these 4 guys' name on a gun bill together and nobody else, that is absolute done deal, end of story, end of discussion evidence that it's a terrible, terrible attack on our gun rights. And that is the type of people, garbage lawmakers, who are pushing this bill, guys. This is a real threat. That's why we need you to take real action right away. We have a pre-written email campaign above this video. It's in the comment section. It's different places, wherever you're watching this at. Take a moment. It's an automatic process. You punch in your address one time, and then that way the system knows where to direct your email to in the Capitol, and then you fire it off, and it's done. It takes just a matter of seconds, guys. It's automatic. Now, some people are saying to us, well, I don't want to give my phone number. Look, I get it. But the system is automatic. We don't have control over that. And for you to be able to get your information to your lawmakers, we need your information. Your address, for example, is required to get this to the right lawmaker. Your phone number is required because we give you the option to automatically call and talk to your lawmaker automatically using our system. So we have to have some information to properly route you to the right people. But make no mistake and have no concerns about this. Nobody gets that data. Nobody gets your information. Nobody has that stuff. Nobody. That stays internal. You have my word before God. It stays between you and us. Guys, if we're not going to stand up and fight now, when are we going to do it? If we're not going to make our voices heard now, if we're not going to give up our address and let our own lawmakers know we're opposed to this bill, then when are we going to fight back? Now is the time to make our voice heard, guys. Fire off these emails. It takes just seconds. I just gave you 7 reasons, actually 8 reasons why we are hardcore opposed to this bill, guys. Do your part now. Take action. If you're not a member of WYGO yet, guys, what are you waiting on? You can see we're fighting tooth and nail. We need your help right now. The website is joinwygo.com. Joinwygo.com. Link is in the video description as well. Get involved in this fight. Many of you have over the last 72 hours. We cannot thank you enough for all of that, all of your support. But what matters tonight and what matters for the next 2 weeks until session begins, and that first full week of session, is your emails. I want to mention also finally how the process works. This is a budget session coming up. It's a hyper shortened session. Usually it lasts 20 days. And the way this ordinarily works in a budget session is this bill has to have a 2/3 or more majority vote on the floor in either chamber to even be referred to a committee. So we have a chance of killing this bill in the first opening day or two of session when they gavel in on February 10. And that's why the lead up between this day and that day, 2 weeks from today, when the session kicks off, is so crucial. If they get 2,000-3,000 emails opposing fixed NICS between now and session, guys, that's a tremendous amount of grassroots energy against the bill. But if they get 200 or 300 emails, they're going to say, see, no one cares. No one cares. So now is our time to stand up. Lori says people are complacent and will let our gun rights be taken away. She's right. Lori's right. Now, you guys aren't those kind of people. That's why you're watching this video tonight. But we all know folks who are. So take a moment after you fired off your emails and joined up with WYGO and share our video. Give it to your friends at work. Give it to your people at church. Give it to your gun buddies, your hunting buddies, your brother-in-law, even the one you don't like, and say, look, listen to this video for 5 minutes. There's a war on for our gun rights. I've taken action. I've fired off my emails. Do me a favor, buddy or brother-in-law or whoever this person is. Take a moment and fire off your email as well. And just tell them, all the work's been done for you. The email's been written. Not sure who your lawmaker is? That doesn't matter. It's all automatic. So guys, help us get people off the bleachers into this fight. Share the video. Tag them in the comment section. Whatever it takes. Make them take action. Guys, that's all I have for tonight. More to come. Take action. Fire off your emails. We'll be in touch. Take care.